We're making this thing live because we reaching out. Like I told y'all before, this movement won't be stopped. And this movement is that upliftment that we need in our lives. That day to day investment that will go about making us wiser, stronger, and most of all, making us so that whatever we come forth in life, we are ready to go about tackling. But it's sad when you see others only go about blaspheming the spirit. And in blaspheming the spirit, I'm merely talking about the spirit that resides in every living thing. In regards to blaspheming is abusing the body, incorporating mental stress that weighs us down. We have, as a people, developed and established some behaviors that are unacceptable. And the reason they're unacceptable is because one of the biggest things that we go about doing on our day to day is going about worrying. And like I go about telling everybody, if somebody could go about illustrating to me the positive effects of anybody who have worried a problem away, then I'll change my stance. But worrying does nothing but go about hurting the soul. It destroys the body. It's a negative connotation. It's almost like drinking beer. There's no beneficial aspect to it, but yet we consume beer just to make ourselves feel better. And in doing things just to make ourselves feel better, if it's not bringing any beneficial um, state of mind, or if it's not promoting you to go about doing better, why is it that we haven't gone about investing in things which will only go about helping us? The one thing that we must come to realize in this is that there's a price to pay for everything that we indulge in. Nothing goes unbalanced, nothing goes unchecked. And if you invest your time, your energy, your being into things which only goes about leaving you depleted at the end of the day, then I must say you're investing in the wrong things. Not every day the sun will shine, but nevertheless, it gives us a moment to go about encountering a new challenge. So, the things that we do, let it be that it goes about bringing peace. Let it be that it goes about bringing a state of calmness. Because for anybody who goes into any situation in life and they are not at a place of peace. They have lost before even their first attempt or first engagement, because a lot of us, we practice worthless emotions. Now, what I mean by worthless emotions is we are angst. We become anxious and trying to predetermine the outcome and trying to fix the situation. But let me be the one to tell you, faith is undefeated. One could never go about defeating faith. What is to be will always be. And what you see, that's in front of you. Don't ever lie to yourself in believing something that is not real. And in believing things that are not real, us as a society, we have come to welcome rumors more willingly than going about discovering the truth. We have accepted a false ideology and carry on and run with something that we ourselves have not gone about verifying, because we're so quick to want to be the smartest ones. We're so quick in wanting to exploit the next man's ignorance. But I say be careful, because there's so much to learn. And the attitude that you have will in turn go about meeting you. It's only the humble who goes forth and acquire what it is that they need to go about getting. But the arrogant and the proud, they will stumble time and time and time again, because they believe they know. And in knowing, it's only to go about showing through demonstration. But when it comes to it, many of us have only gone about making excuses in regards to what we're going through. What I mean by making excuses is that we'll look at a relationship, and in that relationship, things don't for some reason work out. We are so quick in blaming that other person why it didn't work out, because there's no way it was my fault. There's nothing that I did wrong to go about contributing to that breakup. If only that person would have listened, if only that other person would have took my sense of direction. But like what they say, it takes two in order for a fight to begin. Just as that other person brought some contributing factors to that, you brought things as well. But blaming others for the way things turned out will only go about leaving you lost and not receiving the message in that lesson, you see, because of pride. Pride has become something socially acceptable, in which in that we want to go about controlling the narrative. We don't want to be seen in a negative light. And so it's always somebody else's fault. It's always due to circumstances. It's always due to situations. But like I'll tell you, like I tell everybody, the main contributing factor is you. It's just going about showing you that you just don't know. But instead of us adapting a mentality which goes about promoting the way to walk through the forest is by being cautious, observant, and alert because we don't know what awaits us. But because of our arrogance of stupidity, we carry on in a format which goes about leaving us un, uneasy. And because we've become uneasy, we find fault in what others do. But the truth of the matter is, we must go about checking that and seeing what it is that we go about bringing to the table. It's only it's only when we go about looking at it from a perspective of totally surrendering. And in surrendering to the process, I need for you to ask yourself, how many of you are practicing total serenity in your life? How many of you are practicing to be humble despite what you're going through? How many of you submit to what life is telling you? You see, it's never hard, it's never easy. It only asks that you become a willing participant. And the life we live is predetermined by these facets. And in that, in order for you to go about winning, you must learn how life works. Like the other day, I was talking to somebody, and in talking to this person, they had investments, but they wanted to know in what other ways they could go about investing their money. So I had to ask the person, what is it that promotes growth in your life? So the person said, it's all about making money. And in the person saying that it's all about making money, I sit down and I laughed. So I tell them that money is only a tool in which it was meant to go about satisfying the basic needs of life. So I restated the question, what is it that goes about giving you growth? So after brief conversations, the person went ahead and told me several different things. So I said, now, if you do one of those things that you have mentioned, you will have gone to realize that understanding the ways in which to go about governing yourself and why you do it, it's no longer for money. You do it because there's passion behind it. And in having passion in what you're doing, it will go about giving you conviction. For even when it's doom, gloom, miserable, you will not stop because there's energy being governed, there's energy being produced, and life, you will see, is just one big energy field moving around us. And in that energy field moving around us, it's more to go about helping us understand and see. In order for us to go about joining this energy field, we must partake in certain things, which will go about bringing, which will only go about bringing a true understanding with faith. And in blending our understanding with faith, we will understand that why certain things come into play. But until we get to that part of our journey, there's certain steps that we must go about partaking in. And these steps that we must go about partaking in on a daily basis is looking for when to go about interjecting ourselves. Because a lot of us, we just don't know our place. And because we don't know our place, we're always everywhere, but in the right place. When we supposed to talk, we gonna shut up. When we supposed to shut up, we gonna talk. It's that we have not come to go about learning that timing is essential, and it's essential in growth because if we would just go about studying and seeing that everything is seasonal, I can't be selling damn puffy coats in the summertime. I'm gonna lose money. But I want to go about selling ice cones in the wintertime. You see, the concept is good, but an approach built with a concept that gives you that winning formula. So sometimes we just need to become students of the game and soak up the game from life. But not too many of us are observant. We just want to carry on in this false facade as if though we done figured things out. And like what they say, insanity is doing the same thing. Because your situation ain't no different from the others. But if you would just go about looking and seeing that, okay, this is what it brings. These are some of the reasons why things didn't flip or go about bringing that what it was supposed to bring. Then we will win. But a lot of us, man, we live in our own heads. And because we live in our own heads, we not trying to hear what nobody else got to say. Because we have become so comfortable with the crap that we're telling ourselves and believing all the foolishness in life. That ain't never gonna make it right. That ain't never gonna change anything in life. So one must know that if what you're doing is slowing you down, then you must come to realize that my approach in life is off skewed. And in looking at these things, it will help us see that even though a lot of us have gone about trying different things in life, it it brought about an awareness, because the more you see, the more you will come to know. And in seeing and experiencing things, it will force you to grow. And when we force ourselves to grow, that's when we embark on a different journey. We're not sitting back waiting anymore, because opportunity comes when one goes about making a way. Like I had this old saying back in the days: I'm going to get in that house. If you don't open the door, I'm coming through the window. If you don't open the window, I'm coming through the roof. But the reason I go about saying that in this court is this: it's not to promote thievery or any kind of worthless things, but it's to more go about promoting an ideology in that you will not take no for an answer. You have to become determined in how you're approaching and doing things in life. You must, you must let that fire burn, and not worrying about failing, because too many of us are worried about failing. So we really never truly succeed, because we're worried about factors and circumstances in which we have no control over. And going back to that faith, faith is going to do what it do. It's going to move the way it move. It's going to rock the way it rock. The only thing that you got to do is learn how to go about aligning yourself so that when it moves to the left, you're in step. When it moves to the right, you moving to the beat of the drum. Because moving to your beat of your drum in your life, it's demanding. And I'm not saying that life should be you moving to everybody else's drum. But what I am saying is that you need to understand how life cycles work. There's times that you just gonna have to sit your ass down. And in sitting down, it's not for you to go about interjecting or trying to go about stopping something, because life calls for you to be an observer. And in observing, life is going to go about showing you what it is that you need to go about doing. You see? But because of how we go about looking at things, even when life is telling us to sit our ass down, we want to go about interjecting. And then our feelings get hurt. Our feelings get hurt because it don't turn out the way we want it to turn out. And even with the best of intentions, If shit is done in the wrong order, then ain't nothing good gonna come out of it. And that's just the beast of that's just the belly of the beast right there. Going back to that old saying, you make your bed hard, you gonna lie down in it. Ain't nobody gonna share that bed with you. So know why you're doing what you're doing. It's only when we go about understanding and knowing how to read the sheet of the music that we could play alongside the drum. Because if we're not in harmony, then we're out of step, we're out of place. The reason I wanted to give the background of nature was for us to go about taking that time, settle in our minds, find that peace that we so desperately go about needing. Make it so. Because you already know, just being the humble servant, coming with it live so that we can make this thing work. And just go about approaching things from a viewpoint that makes you win in everything that you do. You see, life is not about wins or losses. Life is about what you're taking away from it. Life is what you do with what you got. And if we know how to play the game, we become joyous. We become fulfilled. But because many of us don't understand how to play the game of life, we have become irritable, miserable, irrational, and disrespectful, and going about hurting our own selves. So learn how to play the game so that you may go about winning. Now that's my blessing. One.